Next on the hot seat, I caught up with Upasana Taku, the co-founder of MobiKwik, which has now spent 9 months as a listed entity. I caught up with her earlier where she said not much has changed for MobiKwik, but a whole lot more is expected in the coming year or so. We also spoke about the company, going back into losses this year after finally becoming profitable in the last financial year. But Upasana told us that the company will soon be able to get back in the black, and she also spoke about their interesting stock broking license and the plans with that. Upasana, thank you so much for your time here with CNBC TV 18. 9 months as a listed company. What have been the initial thoughts? What's changed?
I think that it's just growing up, right? You're a teenager, then you go to college, then you graduate, and you have to think about how to have a steady job and while keep growing. I think similarly for a company, getting listed is an ambitious moment, but it's sort of setting yourself for the next level of growth. Yeah. So there's more prudence in terms of quarterly reporting, in terms of transparency, governance, growth. Yeah. But I don't think that life has drastically changed. I think it's more of the same thing, but doing it, I guess, on a regular reporting and more systematic fashion.
Even in terms of numbers, it's been a record in terms of GMV growth for MobiKwik. I think you've crossed 1 lakh crores as of the first quarter. Are you on track to repeat this kind of a performance in the second quarter? Your merchant base also, I think, from what I was seeing, 4.6 million and 176 million users now. At what pace is business continuing to grow?
Oh, business is growing quite nicely. I think last year we recorded about 3x growth in our payments business. Of course, we also saw some downward trend in the credit distribution business. Yeah. But there also Q4 and Q1 we have grown about 30-32% in terms of credit disbursals. So from a business growth perspective on all ends, whether it is the consumer payment business, whether it's the merchant payment business or the credit distribution business, things look very good. We've also launched interesting new credit card on RuPay credit card on UPI products there, and the card is called First Card because very few Indians have a credit card in India, and we want to bring that product also to everyone, so to speak. And starting from 5,000 rupees, anybody can get a credit card on the MobiKwik app. That's why it's called First Card. It's your first credit card.
What kind of AUM are we talking?
Look, I can't give any forward-looking projections, but I would like to say that a lot has changed there from a regulatory perspective. The 5% DLG contracts, small ticket lending. We used to have a BNPL product that got completely shut down, and therefore we started launching these credit card on UPI product. So there's a lot happening there, and I think the business is kind of stabilizing in Q2 and Q3, Q4. I expect to see a good jump in growth there also. When you asked what are the levers of growth, so we have these two table stakes, large businesses. We also have new businesses. We recently got a PAPG, payment aggregator, license. We also got recently the broking license. So the payment gateway business, the wealth business, they are also small and nascent, but they will also grow fast. So the idea, we are trying to really build MobiKwik as a full house of financial products with a core focus on delivering to the tier 2, tier 3 markets, what we call Bharat. And that's sort of the focus from the company.
But in terms of these newer businesses, specifically stockbroking, for instance, since you've just got the license, how long before it really picks up? What are the plans on that front?
So we've not even launched it yet. We are still building. So we do have some wealth products on our app. In fact, I should mention our most interesting product there is called Lens.ai, where using account aggregator, you as a user could connect your bank statements, your mutual funds and stock holding, and we'll analyze your portfolio, and in a very conversational format using AI, of course, we will advise you on how you can rebalance your portfolio. This is the first step for a person to make educated decisions, because not everyone has the time, whether it is you, me, or a small business owner. We can't be looking at screens all day in terms of analyzing our money movement. So this is our personal finance tool. It's free of cost, and it has a layer of conversation on top of it. So you could ask questions and it will reply to you. It's almost like a WhatsApp.
So this will be part of your stock broking offering later?
Yeah, so it's a part of our wealth offering overall, because what I meant to say is that while we've not launched broking, we have Lens.ai, we have mutual funds, we have digital gold, and gold has of course been doing really nice this month. And we also have, fixed deposit. FD, as you know, is one of the most secure forms of yield-bearing products in India. But here we have high yield FDs from banks and NBFCs that are giving higher yields.
Sure.
So we have a wealth portfolio, but I think bringing the stockbroking will be cherry on the pie, so to speak. But we don't want to do it in a vanilla fashion. We don't want to do it just like every other stockbroker has done it. We want to have a unique, differentiated proposition, which is why it's going to take us some time to build it.
All right, let me quickly get a word in on profitability, because it took that long to become profitable last year, but now you're back in the red. What really has happened there, and how soon do you think you'll be able to get back in the black?
No, you're completely right. We worked very hard to be profitable, and we had about 6 quarters of profitability before we got listed. And it's just a matter of bad luck or destiny that just as we were getting listed, there were a lot of headwinds in the unsecured lending space, not just for MobiKwik, but overall for the sector. Last Diwali, things were, not growing, and since we are not the balance sheet owner, it's our lending partner, which could be a bank or NBFC. So they get to decide whether they want to scale up or scale down. And given that they scaled down, so our disbursals went down, and so our revenues from credit distribution went down. But of course, we already had previous loans we had given, so we had collections happening on that. We already had fixed costs built to a certain level, and which is why I would like to say that we have momentarily gone into red because of these things.
So how soon will you take to get back?
Yeah, so second half of this year is when I'm hoping we'll be profitable, and in fact Q4 to Q1, March to June also we have shown improvement. So we went from about 45 crores to about 31 crores in terms of negative EBITDA, a 15 crore swing. If we just keep doing that, then over a course of 1 or 2 quarters, we should
be back to being profitable. Could you also quickly explain what went wrong in that 40 crore system glitch that recently has been in the news? Was it a human error, system error? And have been able to identify the cause and contain it so that it doesn't repeat again?
No, absolutely. See, we were able to identify the cause and fix it within 45 minutes of discovering it. What it was is, it was a bug. It was a technology bug which got missed in the QA also. So it is definitely our mistake. It did not impact any genuine customer or merchant, their balances, and for them the regular app continued. What happened is that because the bug was there, some merchants identified it, and overnight, in a span of few hours, they exploited it, and that exploitation happened majorly from one district called Nuh in Haryana. And I think where people just woke up overnight, their friends, relatives, etc., there was massive collusion. Otherwise, that is not the kind of activity you see late night in terms of transactions happening on small merchants, like which Kirana store is open at 2 in the night, right? It isn't. So people found a bug and they exploited it. And by the time the teams looked at the alerts, it was early morning. We immediately fixed it within 45 minutes. But the beauty of it is the money has flown. Payouts have happened for transactions that were really not successful to our own merchants. So it's not a third party who is, there's no cyber fraud here. It's just some of our merchants have done collusion and tried to get a lot of additional money out of MobiKwik. But we can see the bank accounts the money went to. In fact, I want to tell you, in the last 2-3 weeks, many of these merchants have come back to us and given the money back to us. So we have now recovered more than 20 crores, and we think that we'll be soon in a position where we have even better numbers to report.
On that note, Upasna, thank you so much for your time. It's been a pleasure chatting with you again.
Same here, Ritu. Thank